digital key or whatever it is, so that you can also use the recording software. And
Yeah.
you can do even smaller setups where you get a field recording device. The one Keith and I had, you get them for about $150, $200.
You mean that little thing you put on the floor that time was at the gallery?
Mm-hmm.
That joint was dope.
Yeah, those are used professionally all over. Mm-hmm. And they're different levels of quality or like kind of sophistication depending on what your needs are. And you can also record live from the soundboard into those. They have a 1/4-inch input-output, and they have an XLR input-output.
Yep.
So they're good for field recording, like if we need to talk, and you can attach another mic to it, and it records on multiple tracks, or you can just have it open air and get everything, and you then can dump it into your suite and do the editing later.
Yep. That's an ideal setup that I'm already like, that came to my head when I initially was like, yo, I want to do this kind of thing, and I want to use different shit than what I'm currently using. Like, I don't want to lug around a big old microphone, because the environment's not going to always cater to that. You know what I mean? It could be this slim opportunity. I happen to be in this side of town. Hey, I haven't seen you in a minute. I always wanted to meet you, yada, yada. You got 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so
It's going to be fun. Yeah. All right. So, good to see you, bro. Probably when you get closer, because you talk low like a wise person and shit. You're not in show mode. Alright, so good to see you, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to state your name real quick?
What's up? My name is Christopher Carr.
Or, yeah, whatever. Mm-hmm. No, I'm kidding. So, you know what I'm saying? Me and you got got a bit of a history together. You know what I'm saying? I met you through Taekwon Sounds. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, bro. He was like, yo, it's happening in Brooklyn right now. You need to come out there. You know what I'm saying? You come out there and meet my boy. You know what I'm saying? Met you. Mm-hmm. Then we sat down, kind of first time ever chilling. Kind of just recorded an album on the spot. Like by accident. And first time I started performing through you invited me out to like a loft party. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, we be having some cool chill get-togethers and all of that gathering. I should come to perform. And then that's when I kind of started to see the circus of awesomeness that's been going on out here, and a lot of it kind of coordinated by you. And everything else to be hold behind, what you've been doing and all that shit. So I wanted to shout that out real quick.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Shout out
Glad
to
you participated.
Yeah, word, bro. Learn a lot from you and stuff too. A whole lot. So one question, I think we've even had this conversation before. So what was your first exposure to like some kind of art? Well, first off, before we even go there, let's talk about what you currently do. Okay. And what your mission is, or even if you want to talk about why you do what you do.
Okay. I think why is a really good question to start with. Like I said before, my name is Christopher Carr. Most people call me Chris. And I make a lot of stuff. I do a lot and try to stay busy and occupied. That may come out in the form of live music. I like performing. I like writing raps. I like emceeing. I love the kind of intellectual challenge of trying to express yourself in a rhyming pattern form while music's playing. Right. It's like a physical challenge and a mental challenge. Right. I've been rapping since high school, and I've been out of high school for a long time. I take photos for my job. It's partially how I pay rent. And the types of photos I take can range from marketing materials for small independent apparel designers, or it could be promotion material for an independent musician, painter, artist. Sometimes I shoot people's artwork so that they can try to resell it or get it into magazines or whatever else. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of portraiture, a lot of pictures of people. I've shot concerts that range from Dillinger Escape Plan to Snoop, Nas. I probably met, up until maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, just about every major rapper that was getting pushed through the industry system. So, I mean, that ranges from like Method Man to
Prodigy.
Oh yeah, Prodigy. I mean, we opened up for like Beat Nuts. Like I have friends who do music. Like we went to college. My roommate in college co-produced for Killer Mike, and so when Killer Mike got signed, he was in the same studio we were using, and so I met him back in 2001 or so. Pill, that the other dude from Atlanta, I was one of Killer Mike's proteges. I met him when that kid was like 17 or 16 or something crazy. So when he put out that song Ham, like I was like, I saw him up here at Hyro Ballroom, and I'm like, son, he's like, yo, you like basically you're the weird dude who used to come to the studio. But it was interesting. And once I moved to New York, I started getting more interested in the fine art elements. I met a lot of people who didn't make music, but who are still really talented and did progressive things in terms of performance art or theater or just like crazy writing outside of your normal presentation modes. And so at this point, I have my hands in all the baskets. Like I take the photos, I throw the events, I still make music, I still love rapping. Got into music video making. I want to do a short film about, basically a philosophical film about destination and purpose.
That sounds mad interesting.
And I work with young people occasionally. I try to keep it adult. But we just did a mural project for Francis Perkins High School, and so the unveiling for that was Tuesday.
Oh, shit.
I've led a couple classes at that same school. When I moved to New York, I was teaching after-school program in photography. And so at this point, I am, in the same way this description went, over the river, through the woods, and under the... that's how my brain is. That's how my life has been. I didn't go to school for art, but it's what I definitely do now. So,
what did you go to school for?
I went to Morehouse for undergrad and majored in sociology and minored in psych and religion. And my interests and my thesis dealt with capitalism as an economic form, and I did comparative sociological history. And I had an interest in economic sociology as well.
Right.
In terms of psychology, I was really interested in why we as humans are motivated to do what we do. How are we affected by society? How are we affected by the other people around us? I am not much of a strict physiological person or like biochemistry person. I fully believe there's something that works inside of us that we do not understand, and religion doesn't explain it for me. So I wanted to still explore, like, all right, well, what did the doctors say? What did the counselors say? What did I heard what the religious people said. I started college like as a bio major, so I kind of understood some of the science behind it. But I wanted to explore like how society and people affect each other. And for grad school, I went to Columbia, which is what brought me to New York the first time, for medieval studies. And basically, I wanted to get into the time period prior to capitalism, like what birthed capitalism. And everything you read about is, feudalism. And so I want to understand this feudal time period and the idea of property rights developing, the idea of nation states being segmented and forming nations with armies and having like a wealth of nations and getting into world economy, and which then leads into these questions of capitalism, communism, socialism, and how you manage resources and how you manage the distribution of resources, how you manage how many people are now alive at the same time in the same areas. And I was able to take a liberal studies program, so I took courses in philosophy, history, literature, economics, art history, a lot of different things. It was dope. And my thesis dealt with the ideological construction of orthodoxy and heresy during the medieval time period, focusing mostly on the relationship between the Catholic Church and the Franciscan Order in I think around the 15th, 16th century in Italy. It was great. So I got to get into discussions of like what's orthodox, what's heretical, is it tradition, is it you're violating the Pope, is it this is for the community or for the people, is it no, the religious people just like persecuting people and thinking they're witches and drowning them, right. So in a way related, like I've always been interested in us as people, as like being living beings and the other living things around us, like how do we all work. So when I was younger, I was really into animals, and like I wanted to, maybe, I don't know, do something with that. And then at a certain point, it was like, nah, I'm more into bridges and, like, tanks. And then it's like, maybe I'd be an engineer. And it's like, no. And so after a nice little windy road, I found myself in whatever I'm doing now.
Can you identify that first step into the artistic direction, even by accident?
Yeah, I got my ass beat for drawing and painting on the walls over and over again.
The word?
Yeah, of course. Like, you're 3 years old or 4 or something, and there's probably stuff before that, but it's really hard for humans to recall prior to 3 years old. I don't know why, something about our brain developing or something.
Right.
But try to remember when you were 2. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, word.
But
you gotta have words for it.
Yeah.
And then if you don't know how to.
It's like, how are you conceptualizing anything to memorize it? So it happened. It's in your brain, but you don't know what was happening.
Right. You never interpreted it.
Yeah. So probably the earlier things would have been stuff like that, like just expressing some creative drive, or like taking like little characters or pieces of sticks, and you imagine them to be like super warriors, and you slam them together, and they're like having some intergalactic battle with lightning rays shooting out of them.
Yeah, word.
I figured stuff like that's great. Like every kid, but I was bad at a lot of the arts. I did not. I'm serious. Like, I tried to draw, and people were like, "Oh, you're so good for a 6-year-old." I stayed at a 6-year-old level till now. Like, even now, I draw like a 6-year-old. So it was like,
because I've never seen you draw. I love to see that shit.
Yeah, it's bad. No, you don't.
So I can cut your ass.
It's diminishing returns. So at 6, it was like, wow, you want to take art classes. By 7, it was like, we should put you in tennis. Because that, and I tried painting. And my mom put me in a lot of activities. Like, I didn't grow up with both parents in the home. My mom worked a lot, and she did not believe in the whole latchkey thing, or like let the kids stay around the crib and just chill. Right. It was like, you have to do something. Mm-hmm. And so I got put in the violin at one point. I was doing cello at another point. Another point, I tried to play drums. Again, I wasn't good at any of these things. Right. But I learned some of the principles behind it, and it's like kind of affected me.
That's why it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So I would say those things, like, pretty early.
So, all right, so those were some of the foundational things, as far as opening your mind to these things. Just looking at how your brain was moving creatively, in that sense. So, as far as doing something, that was repetitive or structured or more conscious, especially related to what you're doing now, like photography. When were you first like, nah, dog, photography is my joint, or like rap? What was that like? Did you have like a crew that you was like, oh yeah, talk to me about that. Yeah, 'cause you definitely had a crew. I saw the t-shirts.
Well, first of all, like in DC, we don't have
Keith is associated with that, I think.
Well, so all right, it's a long story, man. This is why it's like kind of difficult to explain. I started rapping, I was writing by myself, but I didn't know what I was doing. Like in DC, people didn't rap on every corner. It wasn't in the '80s. People breakdancing on the like cardboard on the concrete. It's like, nah, we went to go-go's. Like, we didn't like New York people. There's a whole. No, I'm serious. There's a whole thing.
I know.
You can talk to the bougie black people who went to Howard, who will tell you there's a whole New York, DC thing, and you can talk to the hood people who were selling drugs.
I was out there, I know.
And in the 80s, it was serious. Like, sure, there were people, but nah, there were some problems. Like, DC was not cool in the 80s, and New Yorkers were trying to come in and take over. People at home did not like it. There were problems.
Right.
So the acceptance of New York culture wasn't the same. And a lot of people in DC are from the South. And so the funk music and the disco stayed a little bit longer. And so, like, the go-go took over, the live element. And so I was going to go-go's, and no one rapped in D.C. like that. And there were 3 people I knew. This dude, J-Ben, this other dude, Jay Cooper, who I grew up with, and M-Chat. And they came over, they were freestyling, and I was like, yo, I'll be writing my little raps. Like, let me try something. And I started rapping with them, and they really encouraged it, man, and would make me freestyle. We'd do the topics, tell stories. And it was a good foundation because all of them were creative. Like, I think at this point, Jabin's an actor. During the time period, Jay Cooper was on Teen Summit. And so they weren't afraid to try different stuff. Right. They didn't feel the need to act like they were tougher than they were, you know. But we were also only listening to, like, Busta Rhymes and Boot Camp Click and, like, Nas and Mobb Deep. And so it still had, I got to wear my camouflage. Right. That age of hip-hop. And then I moved to Atlanta for college, and within the first month, like, I ran into my homeboy Nick, who ended up producing Killer Mike. I ran into this dude, Quam Scott, at Underground Live, which was an open mic that was put together on campus. Mm-hmm. And I was just inspired. Mm-hmm. Like, it went from no one raps and, like, I kind of want to do it, and there are a couple people I can work with to, like, yo, like, there are like ciphers, 20 people on campus,
Word.
and who were ill, like this dude Rashman, who still rhymes, like who's out in California. Like there were people that I met in '97 who I put up against just about every person I know.
Holla at me.
And I'll tell you right now, Rashman will burn you. All right, I'll tell you that right now.
You know what? I'm gonna give you that's my friend card.
That's cool.
All right.
That's cool.
That's cute.
I give you that.
Cute.
Hey, I hope he hears this too. That was the dude when he rapped.
Shout
I
out
shut
to
the fuck up.
What's his name?
Rashman.
Shout out to Rashman.
Him, this other dude, Boots, who man, this dude was so sick. It was in a group called Unsigned, and there were a couple people I met like during that period, and where it really pushed the lyricism. It really pushed more than like the vibe and the be cool part, or like the get your find like your image thing. It was like have something to say,
right?
Like actually have a perspective that's unique because there are all these other people around you contributing. So what's your contribution?
Right.
Don't be like them, but be yourself.
Right.
And I mean, there was a huge crew called the Icon. I mean, like, this was also when people were getting signed, so a lot of people were trying to rap. Like, this is the late 90s, like, rap was cool. Like you walk down the street and people are freestyling on the corner.
Right.
And so, I mean, that pushed me. I started recording by about, like, probably 99, 2000. And we did, like, a demo or something like that, or I don't know. And kept recording, finished school, or got close to finishing. I was like, all right, I'm gonna move to New York for grad school. Let's make a EP or make a demo or something. And my homie was like, nah, make an album. And so Aaron and I, we did it. The group was called Project Lumens, and it was like all original music, super dope. Some of the beats were contributed by cassette tape before my man Elias went back to Ethiopia, like all this other stuff. One of the guys who we worked with now was the engineer at that studio, and then was like, yo, I'm gonna help you out. Like, we'll get studio time off the late night. Like, we were booking from 3 in the morning to 8 in the morning or 10 in the morning when it was empty. So, like, Aaron would work doubles at a restaurant, get to the studio at 11 or 12, and we'd rap till 6 or 7, and then get kicked out,
That's lit.
No, it was crazy, man. The type of music you come up with in that type of environment, it's like, it was wild. I'll never make an album like that again.
I don't think I've ever heard that shit.
I haven't. I'll give you a copy.
I gotta hear that. Yeah, word.
And so then I moved to New York, kept making music with Aaron. He moved up here about a year after I did, like maybe a little bit less than a year after, like 6 months after I did. Kept doing music up here. Left my grad school program after I completed all the courses and started working on the thesis, and like realized I want to make art and music, and I'm doing well in this grad program at a pretty good school, and the people in it love it as much as I love music. Well, what if I put my effort into the music? I'd probably be like okay at it. If I can do okay at something I don't like, but I may be more naturally talented at, then I may be okay doing something I love, but may not necessarily be so predisposed to.
Right.
Like, I'm not one of those people that after rapping for 2 years, people are like, damn, you sound like you've been rapping 10 years. Like, we're rapping 20 years, and I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Right. But I'll wrap circles around mad people.
What was this thing that you said people would say you had naturally good at? It was something you was doing back then that was different?
Depending on what you believe, I'm naturally inclined to do well in school.
I believe that. The way you be dropping fucking scientific terms in your raps and dates and
it's more so the things that
time themes and all that medieval rulers and shit. I'm like, who the hell was that? And it's like there's two nerds in the background that's still in school. Like, yeah.
I love my shows. I did this one, and at the end of it, this dude came up to me. He was like, "Yo, you said Gollum. You said And he went through like my 3 or 4 comic book references, and he was like, "I'll fuck with you," and then walked away. And I was like, there you go.
Yo, one time, you remember that show we did at the beach?
Yeah.
You were rapping this guy, he was dead man slobbing. You had him hyped. He was like this, this shit was dumb funny.
So I don't know. So after I left the school program, I went back to D.C. I got a job, saved up a little bit, went overseas, took the music we had made over to Denmark, ended up rapping over there, came back, I got a home studio, had my own place, was living out in the middle of nowhere, couldn't do music, moved into D.C., got a house, and I just turned it into the, like, yo, you want to record, come to the crib.
Right.
You want to make music, come to the crib.
Right.
And through that, ran into these cats, Gray Matter and Tyrone. And we started a group, Rosetta Stone. Grey Matter got married, and so it became kind of just me and Tyrone in the group. Mm-hmm. And in the first, I don't know, man, like year of us doing something, we did like over 100 shows. Got an album recorded that still hasn't come out, even though we did it in like 2007. It's coming out.
I would like to hear it though.
That shit's fire.
I would like to hear that shit.
And started like just doing shows. Like we from DC out to Texas, like went out South by Southwest, went out to Cali, went from like LA up to Oakland, doing shows with other homies on the label. The label is called Fuck a Record Company. And it was run by a couple guys that went to Princeton. We did a show at Princeton with them. And just started, trying to galvanize the DC scene. Like, it's different than what I'm doing up here. It was mostly hip-hop. We did work with some rock bands. My roommate at the time, Patrick, was in a group called Caverns. And they did instrumental punk. And so that's how I got put on, like, Dillinger Escape Plan, because one of the guitarists knew the dudes from that group. And it just opened up my mind to the live music scene in a different way.
Right.
But we couldn't really access it. Like, it was like the venues that did a lot of the rock and punk were the same places that let you do the hip-hop shows, but they wouldn't do them at the same time. This night's for rock, this night's for hip-hop. But it was all indie, so it confused me. Like,
right.
And so we started doing house shows where we could do all of it in the same place. We did these things called Crasher Mansion. And rented a coach bus, brought people up to New York before I moved up here when Aaron was living across the street, or he still is. And just, kind of the same thing, like book shows, meet artists, try to conceptualize how to better our professional field, how to make things more efficient and easier for us as artists to actually get what we want out of it, whatever the success is going to be, whether it's the money, the outreach, for some people, fame, recognition, for some people, occupying their mind, doing something they love, we wanted to help. And so, it was cool. Everything was going well. And I was in a long-distance relationship with someone I had met when I lived in New York during grad school.
Well, where is it? So you was in New York.
I was in D.C. at the time. Like, after I left grad school, I moved to D.C. from 2004 to about 2007. She still lived in New York. And we were, like, doing a long-distance thing. I'd come visit, yada, yada. And it got more serious. At a certain point, she's like, yo, we need to live in the same place. I'm like, cool. Look for jobs in D.C. I'll look for shit in New York.
Okay.
And she's like, I am not looking in D.C. you are moving to New York.
Yeah, word.
I'm like, fuck out. I don't like New York. I already lived there and left. Like, why would I move back? What are you talking about? I left on purpose. Like, I didn't get kicked out of school. Like, I left. Like, I don't like New York. I was doing just fine in school. Had a nice little apartment,
Right.
But and she's like, do photography. You've been working on it in D.C. You'll have a better chance up here. I work in she's quoting her, like, I work in PR. I know some people. Cool. I found an after-school program to work for. I moved up here. And for the first, 2 or 3 months, I was literally in New York 4 days out of the week, D.C. out of 3, because I still had an apartment in D.C., but I was doing an after-school program up here.
That's mad cool, son.
And so I'd drive up, stay in New York for 4 or 5 days, go back to D.C. Finally, I was like, I'm sick of this. Came up full-time, quit the after-school program, and started trying to work as a photographer. And that's when I got put on to, doing gigs for allhiphop.com, The Source magazine, Rides magazine, Manhattan magazine, a ton of other websites, private companies. I shot stuff for Hennessy, Pepsi, Puma.
So shout out to homegirl.
Yeah, I mean,
Word.
She wasn't lying. When I got up here, it was really dope because, again, it wasn't a situation where she was calling me yo, here's just a job and a check. But she worked in environments where if I went with her to events, I'd meet people, and when they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm a photographer.
Right.
At first, I was messing up, being like, well, I'm an artist, I do rap, I went to school for blah, blah. You can just see him I'm not listening, homie. I was ready for a 2-word answer, maybe 4. And so I learned just to be I'm a photographer.
Right.
I do this. And you meet people who are we need a photographer.
Right.
Everyone in their venue worked for some type of media outlet.
Right.
So their magazine, their TV show, their movie might need still. Their video production might need still shooters. Their executive team might need, profile shots for this upcoming campaign.
Right. Message.
Yeah, you can find ways, man. And through that, I started meeting really interesting people who made art and music. Because I'm going to these events that are all kind of industrial art, music, fashion, like Fashion Week, shooting like Bryant Park when it was there, like Lincoln Center, whatever.
That's lit, bro.
It was cool. Serena Williams fell in love with me.
You're a liar.
Of course she didn't fall in love with me. But we talked, I mean, I looked at her like, like, when I was taking her photo, I was like, hey, let me blah, blah, blah. You're going to fall in love with me. It didn't work, but I tried.
It's all about the thought that counts.
It's a thought. I didn't say anything.
Effort. It's the stride towards greatness.
And that's what it's about. And so, at that point, I started realizing there was a really large community of talented people outside of rappers in New York. Like when I was in DC, what was most accessible to me were rappers and people that made like hip hop music, and that's dope because I'm a huge hip hop fan and fanatic. I got up here,
and you're like a friend with a hip hop great. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's
and it just in a way it also like culturally aligns. There are certain principles of hip hop I just match with my personality. But when I moved back to New York and started shooting these events, I didn't like the hip hop I was shooting. Like I know people are gonna get mad, whatever, but I don't like the people on Interscope Records. Not personally. Some of them are super nice. But the music, I don't want to hear it. I go to these events for Jive Records or for whatever, and I'm sitting there like, man, this shit is lame. And the dude who works for Jive is like, yeah, I know the record industry's about to die. Jive. We don't know what we're gonna do. We are freaking out. I'm not bullshitting. 2008, 2009, they knew it, and they were like, we are gonna lose our jobs. What the fuck is going on? And
that's how it felt. I'm glad that it wasn't just a feeling. Like they already knew.
And so it also then deadened my interest in making rap music. I was basically living with my girlfriend, going to lame ass rap shows where they're huge. Like I'm Summer Jam, like in the VIP box, because her PR firm represented Heineken. Heineken's one of the reps for Summer Jam. We go to what is that thing? Was it Rock the Bells? Yeah, and again, through her firm, we end up backstage. I didn't have a ticket. She wasn't even there. I still got in with one of her homegirls. Method Man's manager walked us through the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. So it was like, that's cool, but that's not me, man. That's not, I'm not going to be sharing the stage with Tony Yayo. Like, I mean, like really with what I do. That's not, it doesn't make sense. And so I kind of found myself like, wow, I'm doing this photo shit, that's cool. I started a blog, people are kind of recognizing it. I go out to certain stuff, people know me who work in certain arenas. Just crazy things are kind of happening. Like, oh shit, ran into Busta Rhymes, got a photo in the thing in the bathroom. I had to pay the dude $5 to take his picture, but I got it. That was my job tonight. I got paid $150 to get Busta Rhymes' photo, so I paid him $5 to do it. Okay, I'm learning New York.
Message.
Get to the club. Your job, shoot Busta Rhymes. You get to the club, your name's not on the list. What? Blah, blah, blah. Other person comes out. Oh, yeah, he's with so-and-so. He can shoot red carpet. No. I have to get inside. No. I'm going to get inside. I get inside. See Busta Rhymes. Yo, I'm here. I have to take your picture. I'm with da-da-da. No. What do you mean no? Nah. Hold on. I'm chilling. Don't you see what's happening here? Can't piss off Busta Rhymes. Dude got brolic real quick. Like, he's kind of big. This is by the time Busta got big. And so I go in the bathroom, and it's a unisex bathroom. The girls in there changing and shit.
Clap days.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he got diesel. And the girls in the bottle girls are getting their makeup done. It's a unisex bathroom. And I'm like, yeah, so what do y'all do? All right, cool, blah, blah. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, my God, Busta Rhymes is coming. He walked in. He's like, hey, what's up, ladies, blah, blah, blah. They're all hype. He goes into the bathroom. I'm like, all right, when he comes out, y'all got to ask him for a photo.
Nice.
All right. And they're like, yeah. And they sitting there like cat ears and fishnet stockings on. So I'm like, he will say yes. He walks out. So he's like, Busta, let's take a photo. He's like, yep. I get the camera. He's like, whoa. Give me $5. And I'm like, for what? He's like, I'm going to give it to the girls. You got to tip the talent.
Right.
Okay. Bam. $5. Smack. Cool. Busta Rhymes on my blog. And people are like, damn, you in New York doing the thing. And I was so not happy with the industry at the time. I was so not happy with the people I was around in terms of when I talk about my art and my music, trying to explain an anti-corporate mentality to people whose lives are sustained by these corporations is pointless endeavor.
Right.
It's literally like you're just going to offend them.
Right.
You're going to sound crazy.
Right.
Or they're going to continue to say the same thing that every person who's on that side of it is going to say. There's nothing new to the conversation. It's like, hey, the music you guys are putting out is whack. Yeah, we know, but it makes money. Yeah, but making money can't be the only thing that matters in life. I'm going to the beach next week. Shut up. Can you pay your rent? Shut up. You know, it's simple. And so at that point, I started working, though, with some of the musicians in my neighborhood who were rock musicians. None of them made hip-hop. I started doing an open mic at Potion Cafe. I still wanted to do rap. I was still making beats. Me and Ty were still kind of doing some stuff back, you know, between New York and D.C. But it was another transition period where it's like I wasn't making as much stuff.
Right.
And started working with folks around here, and like we couldn't make rap songs. We didn't have places to record. I didn't have money for studio time. I can't bring in a whole band to my home studio. And so I just started making live music. Like just the only point is to do it. It's gone as soon as it's over. Freestyle, improv. We don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. Sure, play. This is some old Door shit. Play that. That's Pink Floyd. Play that. Can y'all play any hip hop beats? No. Okay. Oh, you know how to play some blues? I don't want to rap to that. Well, that's all we know how to play. That's not this classic rock shit. Okay, play classic rock. I'll learn to rap to it. You know? And that kind of was the impetus for Brooklyn Wildlife developing, in that it couldn't just be about rap. It couldn't just be about photography. It had to be like, what is something I can do where people get it? That I'm into a lot of stuff. It's not like, hey, I'm Chris, the rapper. Hey, I'm Chris, the photographer. Hey, I make rap music, so I can't like other music. You know, like how, and I don't do like rap rock. Like, no, I'm a hip hop motherfucker. But I will rap to accordions. I will rap to Tuvan throat singers. I will rap to a cat in a didgeridoo and person playing a washboard and little like hand cymbals. You know, like
it's funny that you probably done exactly that.
You know, but it opened me up to working with way different types of people, understanding the musicology of how to make songs in a different way, song structures, history of music, and I did that for maybe a couple years as I started finding other people that rap. And I reconnected with Keith, who I'd known since like 2001. I met him when I lived in New York the first time. He moved back here from Florida and was living close in the neighborhood. And at a certain point, we started working on music again. Me and my girlfriend broke up, and I had only a couple options, like get hella fucked up all the time, like, you know, get drunk or whatever, try to party. Go out and have sex with as many new girls as possible because I'd been in a committed relationship for a good amount of time. Or work, like put my time and effort into the things that I wasn't able to do when I was tied up in a relationship. And so I just started scheduling photo shoots all the time. Like, I don't care about the money. Come over, let's shoot. You know, like I started working with Keith on a new album and put a lot of time and effort into that. I started freestyling a lot and like working with those live bands. And I'd rap about my, like, what was happening. I like cried on stage during that time period, you know. And motherfuckers knew me and my girlfriend and were like, oh shit, that's like, oh, the homies, all right, wait, yo, all right. Chris, you need a hug, dog? Like, is everything all right? It's like, no, not everything's all right. Your fucking life's falling apart. But at least I'm here tonight with y'all, you know? Like, that's...
Right.
You know?
That's the beauty of that, is seeing your performances, man.
And through that, then, when Keith and I finished our project, it was like, now we have to do something with it. Let's do shows. And we got put on to some shitty shows. It was a pain in the ass trying to contact venues as a rapper. No management and and the way I rap. So we were like, yo, we got to make something that's like an umbrella for everything else. And we had played with it before with this, like, I Live in BK idea. We had played with some other things that are about the art scene in Brooklyn. And it just came about. I can't remember exactly how. It was like Brooklyn Wildlife. And, you know, I found a picture of some raccoons. And slapped that together as a little logo because, like, they're cute, but they're rabid and will fuck you up. You know? But they're just, like, cause trouble. Like, you know, a dog might knock over the trash can. A raccoon spreads it out everywhere. Like, because they're discerning. They're going through and picking out only what they want. So, I mean, they're cool in a certain way.
There's like this video thing that where he collaborated with Homie for, where he made a little video collage. It's like this raccoon going to the dog bowl while he eating and grab a handful of dog food and literally runs off on 2 feet.
Yeah, no, they're hilarious. This is very mischievous. And the kind of multicolored patterning, like Keith's white, I'm black, so it's like,
Right.
you know,
like Coca Vodka thing going on.
you know, we try to keep it real.
Right.
And so it was initially a way for us to go at venues and say, we'll do the whole party. Let us book the whole night. We'll bring in the DJs. We'll bring in the rappers. I knew rappers. Keith knew DJs. And we kept getting shit on. Like, the venues would give us bullshit-ass times or nights. We'd get double booked. We'd show up and the bar manager doesn't even know we're booked, not know how to run the equipment. No sound person, but we got to pay out of our door money for a sound person. But there's no sound guy there. Well, fuck y'all, you know. And so then we really sat down and thought about, like, all right, we need to bring the show.
Right.
Let's go to the homies we know who are doing rock music and do it in these indie spots. And so we started doing it at Rock Bottom, at Next Level. Shout out James Watson.
Word.
The folks over there started doing them at Ivy House, started doing them backyards, like that 4th of July party. My apartment got turned out. Like, I'm not allowed to have a gathering of more than 30 people anymore because of these things. You know, and we just took it to, like, not the quoted or kind of the euphemism of grassroots, but like, no, our shit, like, who owns something or rent something and they'll let us come in and do what we do and they support it, because there won't be any money. We'll be lucky if we break even, you know, and we found people that did that, and through that started meeting more musicians. So that's when around that time I met you, is when we were doing the Rock Bottom stuff. Right, I
remember that. So I still got the photo from that shit, yo.
Yeah, you know, and that's when I met Chaz on Henny, that whole, like, kind of time period. And Keith had a recording studio across the street by then, so we were able to record new material, putting together some mixtapes. And I was able to now book rock and rap in the same place, because these basement venues normally did rock music. Right. And they would let us do the hip-hop shit. But part of my thing was like, y'all need to get on it too. And so it may not have been every show was a mix, but it started the infiltration. It started the overlap of maybe a rock show with 2 rappers. A rap show with 1 or 2 rock bands at the end, you know?
Yeah, I remember, like, the first time I saw certain things where, like, I think it was Lindsay's birthday party. And they had a band for the beginning of the performance, all the lights would be off. And all of a sudden, their gear would light up. Like, shit they was wearing, shit that was all over, like, their guitars and the drums and all of that shit. And then, like, the lights would just come on and they finished the performance. I'm like, for one, I've never seen a rock show in person. 2, that was dope. Like, and I just showed up to rap. I thought that was it, you know?
Yeah, man, that shit was unbelievable to me. Like, what talent was right around us? You know, totally local, like 3 train rides away.
Word.
And I thought that was valuable. I thought that we still need more outlets. We still need more chances.
What you looking for?
My phone.
Nah, you can go get it. Word though, man. That shit was lit. Oh, another thing I want to ask you about too, that we can probably start to wrap it up, is I remember. I'm gonna give you a moment to look for your phone.
Yeah, because I got people coming over to drop off artwork.
Yeah.